Principal Secretary, Industries and Commerce,
Government.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jayashanjan, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Praveena. It's a matter of great honor and privilege to be with such illustrious people. Respected Sudarshan Acharya ji, Vice Admiral Sir, and our venerable badminton player and coach Gopichand Garu, and other distinguished senior leaders from the Lead India Foundation. I'll make some short opening remarks, but since Praveena has requested me to join a panel as well, I'll speak of some of the other things later. But at this point in time, I would just pay my tributes to President Kalam rather, and recall some sessions which I had attended. Of course, many of you would have attended hundreds of his sessions. I remember now, since I was trying to recollect, that I have attended about half a dozen of his sessions. A few here in Hyderabad and a few in Delhi. And certain things, certain concepts which he was espousing, which he was explaining, they looked so relevant in present times. So I remember one of the most, one thought about which he was very passionate about, which later on the government introduced in the form of a scheme also. But as we all know, the moment the government converts something into a scheme, the kind of decline of that concept begins from there. So this is this concept of providing urban amenities in rural areas. He gave the term Pura for that, P-U-R-A. And when you look at the current pandemic situation and what is happening in the lives of hundreds and thousands and millions of migrant workers, guest workers as we have started calling them now, the importance and the value of a concept like Pura becomes so obvious to us. Why is it that hundreds and thousands of people are moving away in search of better livelihoods? And of course, when they go to a place where they try to get some livelihood, and tomorrow if some crisis happens, how precarious their positions become, how desperate they are to get back. And we have seen all that happening before our eyes, so I don't have to recall. But something is still unfolding. The chapter is not ended. If you read the newspapers, let us say in the last 10 days or so, and if you're watching television, etc., you will come across this new trend which is beginning. So many of these people who have gone back to their villages, again, of course, now that they have seen their loved ones and they know that people are safe, there is an equal amount of desperation to find their livelihoods back, and they want to go back and rejoin the workforce. Hyderabad is a very important center where lots of such guest workers have come. I know of it that there is a big presence of guest workers in Hyderabad, and I know of many of them since I look after the industry sector here. There are many industries who have received messages from the guest workers asking them to bring them back and so on and so forth. So I really believe that given the nature of this catastrophe which we are facing today, there will be a renewed commitment to programs like Pura, and more than creating schemes around it, there will be a genuine interaction with all the stakeholders. Multiple things are happening. There is of course a scheme of the Rural Development Department on Pura, but there are multiple other things. For example, the IT Ministry has initiated a program called Digital Villages. There is a Sansad Adarsh Gaon Yojana. There are some global efforts on creating model villages, which they call smart villages. I believe the time has come for all these efforts to converge and ensure that the dream of President Kalam of making Pura happen, so that we are able to prevent these kind of avoidable tragedies which we see these days, that is averted. The second concept which President Kalam used to speak about it quite a lot, and he has written books on it and everyone knows about it. I mean, one thing which the youth today gets the maximum inspiration from the life of President Kalam is on how he dealt with failure when he was handling the space program. As all of us know, the first space mission did not go well. And how did he handle that crisis? And then how did he use that learning to convert that into success? So why I recall that particular phase is that in my current assignment also as the Principal Secretary for Industries and IT, we know that the pandemic has impacted startups quite a lot. I mean, many startups who were just at the early stage of their growth path, they have been impacted, their cash flows has been disrupted. SMEs have been impacted quite a lot. And again, when I interact with these people, when I interact with startups, when I interact with SMEs, I come across two sets of such people. One set which is extremely despondent, which feels that unless the government helps them out, they are going to be ruined and they are literally at their wits' end. But there is a small number of more resilient people also, more resourceful people also, who acknowledge that they are in a crisis, but they also acknowledge the fact that this crisis also presents an opportunity. So perhaps the line of business they chose was not something very sturdy to withstand these kind of problems. So is this a signal that they are getting that they should alter their line of activity? So how does one look at failure in two different ways? One set of people who are extremely despondent, pessimistic, the world has come to an end, and the other people who are following President Kalam's footsteps. And of course, they do expect government help, but they're also helping themselves, creating networks which can help themselves, and so on and so forth. So again, a very clear distinction in terms of what President Kalam used to speak about. And the last important message or lesson which I pick from the 6 sessions which I attended of President Kalam is about a personal empathy. And as you know, in this pandemic times, as I said, everyone has been impacted, some more adversely, some less adversely. But what is going on? I mean, are there people who are looking at the lives of others, the livelihoods of others beyond their own personal interest, etc.? And we see amazing cases, but at the same time, we see cases of a different kind also, in which people are completely focused on how they preserve their own interest. And some people, unfortunately, of course, I intend to speak a little bit more when we talk about values, but many people are also utilizing this as an opportunity. So how does one really do the act of citizenship by helping the country, by helping the society, and by helping others? So as I said, 3 very key takeaways for me from President Kalam's life, his works, his speeches, which I feel are extremely relevant and valid and are playing out before our eyes these days, day in and day out. The first one, of course, is about Pura. The second one is about how does one deal with failure. And the third one is about a sense of empathy and going beyond the person's call of duty. So it's a great way of recollecting President Kalam, great way of paying tribute to him. And my congratulations to Lead India Foundation for bringing all of us together and giving us this chance to share our thoughts. Thank you very much.
Jayesh, thank you very much. For me, you are inspiration on the move. I see you almost day in and day out, living the values, inspiring others to be giving and contributing to nation building. Also about making values your personal attributes and how you live that by example. I don't need to propagate that because people around you see that a lot of work that they see on ground would not have been possible if people like you were not showing that selfless dedication and calling service before self as your personal motto. So thank you for taking that up, and I'm going to come back to you